Alright, well, let's start by taking a look at the code. So this is the machineGun script that deauths specified targets. So it starts with the name of the script, obviously, which I call machineGun, which I'll get to later. The first argument is the access point, and then the second one is number of packets per target. Then the interface, and then everything after the third argument is all the targets identified by their MAC addresses. And then here we have just the help function. So if the first argument is help, then it's going to just print out what I just went over here. Alright, so the first thing we're doing is we're assigning the arguments to variables. So the first argument is getting assigned to the AP variable, the second argument is assigned to the packet variable, and then the third argument is assigned to the interface variable. And then the total target variable is set to the number of arguments minus 3, because there's always going to be those first 3 arguments, which is the access point, package, and interface. Then we have a load counter set to 0. This is used in the next, or rather the first loop here. So this is what loads an array with all the targets, and it's really where I get the name of the script from. This is kind of like loading rounds in the machine gun belt. So as long as the load counter is less than the total number of targets, we're going to do this loop. And so then the target basket array, so the first load counter is 0, so the first index value, in other words, is going to be set to the 4th argument, which will be the first target after the third argument, which the third argument is the interface. So after the third argument, yeah, so the 4th argument is the first target. Then with just a quick echo line just to make sure it's working correctly. And then the load counter is increased by 1. And then this is really important here. This is the shift command, which shifts all the arguments 1 to the left. So the 5th argument becomes the 4th argument. And that's how it keeps loading the 4th argument, but it shifts left every time. So that's how we're able to load it correctly. And next we get into the actual attack loop. And it runs infinitely for now, so the only way to stop it is send a keyboard interrupt for now, but maybe I can change that later. So it's a nested while loop, and so this nested loop here, while the attack counter is less than the total targets, just echo statement. So here, this is the bread and butter right here. So it's using the aireplay-ng command with sending deauth packets with that access point. Whatever your access point you specified, and then there's your target, which is going to be that array, so essentially the first index value of the array, and then the interface. And then the attack counter is increased by 1. It slows down for 2 seconds, and then it repeats, and it does this for all the targets. And then after this loop is done, it goes back to the parent loop, and the attack counter is reset. And then the nested loop runs again and again and again and again. So here's a quick look at the lab setup I have. In the bottom left I have a Raspberry Pi, running Raspbian obviously. Then laptop on top of the shelf is a Windows 7 machine, and the little tablet in the middle bottom is a Windows 8, and then the large laptop to the right is the attack machine running Kali Linux. Alright, so first things first, we just do some basic footprinting to make sure we have all our targets, and I'm using another script of mine which I haven't covered yet. I just call it yscan. It's just a basic arrow dump. It just preps everything for you automatically and just starts scanning. So we'll go ahead and scan here for a second and identify my target access point, which is this one right here. Now it's not actually connected to the internet, it's just a local area network Wi-Fi access point. And so let's go ahead and scan a little deeper. Let's really zero in on this channel 6. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna ping the AP with my target computers real quick. There we go. There's 1, 2, another one. All right. There's actually got a handshake there. So there's all 3 of my target computers connected to the access point. And there's my footprinting is done for this. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and get an attack. I've specified the command, I'm running it, and you can see the targets going offline. Oh, there goes the Windows box. And now the third Windows machine, you can see it on the left down there. It's getting knocked off, but it's not updating on the screen. I'll I'll reach in here in a second and refresh the screen, and you'll see it work. And then my Raspberry Pi actually freaks out here for a second. For some reason I had to wake it up. Alright, now I should reach over here and refresh the screen here in a second. Here we go. And then you'll see, pay attention, you'll see it goes down. Yep. And then it comes back. So it is attacking all three computers successfully.